Well, the core issue of health care has consistently ranked as a top issue in this year's Democratic primary, and it could be a deciding factor for voters in Nevada. A recent report ranked the state last in the nation for prevention and treatment and second to last for access and affordability. CBS News contributor Maria Elena Salinas spoke to voters about their health care concerns.
31-year-old Yerlini Roa Dugan is a mother, an immigrant, and a nurse. As a voter, one of her main concerns is health care.
Medicare for all is one important thing. I think that most of us can agree that even if you have health insurance, the costs can make it very difficult.
She supports Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you.
As a labor and delivery nurse, I see many women that come in without any prenatal care. We can see issues with the babies that we otherwise would have been able to fix or prevent.
How do you deal with that emotionally?
It's very hard.
Roa Dugan's union, which represents healthcare and public service employees, will play a role in Nevada's caucuses. But the state's largest labor organization, the Culinary Workers Union, is one of the most powerful forces in Nevada politics. With 60,000 members, over half Latino, it represents most hospitality workers on the Las Vegas Strip. The bloc of voters is so influential, their union took center stage at Wednesday's Democratic debate on NBC.
The Culinary Workers Union, a great union.
These are hardworking people.
I've been to the Culinary Union's healthcare facilities. They're terrific.
What is the most important issue for this union and its members now that it's election time, it's primary time?
The most important part for us to protect is our health care.
The union has distributed flyers warning that Medicare for all plans would threaten members' current coverage. Geoconda Argüello-Kline has been in the union for 36 years and is secretary-treasurer.
Every human being needs and deserves to have better health care, but at the same time, we believe in choices. We feel very important to keep our own health care because we have the best health care in Nevada.
Employers pay into the Culinary Union's health fund, which supports their own private health center for members and their 70,000 dependents. Union member Lino Paredes, who works at Caesar's Palace, is voting for the first time.
I just had a baby. My wife just had a C-section, and then you guys know how expensive that is, right? So I didn't really have to worry much because I know that I was covered by my insurance.
About 137 million Americans faced financial hardship last year because of medical costs. High health care bills are the #1 reason people take money out of their retirement accounts or file for bankruptcy. All of the presidential candidates have visited the Culinary Union to share their platforms, some seizing on the union's concerns.
We do not want to take those benefits away.
We have an obligation to make sure we do nothing that would put that health care in jeopardy.
You get to keep it under my plan. You don't have to give it up.
Others argue that switching to government health care could help them fight for higher wages.
Employers save money. Under our legislation, workers get the difference.
We asked Senator Warren about the union's fears.
I don't want them to lose it. I want to see healthcare centers like that available, not just for the Culinary Union. I want to see them available all across Nevada and all across this country.
Regardless of the outcome this weekend, Roa Dugan says she's proud to be participating.
I think every vote counts, so my vote is very important, and I am encouraging all my friends and family to vote too.
I want to bring in Geoconda Argüello-Kline. She's the secretary-treasurer of the Culinary Workers Union in Nevada. Thank you very much, Geoconda, for joining us. You know, Nevada's Culinary Union has been such an influential voice in Nevada politics. You guys backed Barack Obama in 2008 when many people wondered if he really had a chance against Hillary Clinton. And then there's newly elected Senator Jackie Rosen. She was a member of the union. Who exactly are your members, and why do you believe you're such a force in Nevada politics?
We believe we are very strong force because we have the largest immigrant organization and we are very active. The rank and file leaders, they always participate when it's a political election. And we have the Unite Here, our union, work and putting a lot of resources to for every single member know what's going on in the presidential candidate or in any election, because every single thing affecting us, we need to have always a good candidate and a person who's going to take care of the issues who are affecting the union.
You know, this election cycle, you've gotten attention for actually not choosing to endorse a candidate, also for criticizing Senator Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. Why exactly is your union opposed to Medicare for All, and what kind of a health care plan would you prefer?
What we're saying is this: we want to have a choice. You know, every person, every human being, every family deserves to have health care. But we could have a public auction, a government health care for the people that don't have health care, and we can keep our own health care, the culinary health care. We've been fighting for so many years. The union have 84 years for the case. So we've been having citywide strikes. We have the horseshoe strike, 9 months and a half. We had the frontier strike, 6 years, 4 months, 10 days. And to protect the health care. What we've been explaining the member is the facts. We're putting in a scorecard what every presidential candidate saying about their health care, about the immigration issue, because immigration is a big issue for our union. We are the largest immigrant organization. We represent 180 countries. People speak 40 different languages inside the casinos. And we know we have 11 million people in this country where they deserve to have an immigration reform. We want to keep a middle-class job. We believe in one job should be enough for one person. We have a lot of issues. What we're looking for a presidential candidate really take care. And the most important part is to defeat the President Trump.
You know, what's so fascinating to me about your union, it really is a union that has significant teeth. And as you mentioned, you haven't been afraid to strike for months or years if it comes to that. There's another union, though, in your state that appears to disagree with your stance on health care. They issued a statement calling the debate over Medicare for All versus union negotiated plans a false choice. And I want to quote here what they're saying. They're saying that while some working people have good health care plans through their jobs, many do not. And access to quality health care shouldn't just be based on luck. It should be based on right. What do you want to say to the Service Employees International Union who had that to say?
I agree everybody had to have right to have health care. We don't say no give it health care. What we're saying is give it a public auction and give a choice to people. Have a choice to, if you want to have a government health care, get your health care if you don't have health care. If you work in the Culinary Union and you have a good health care, keep your own health care. If one day you decide to work in somewhere else, you have the option to enjoy that health care the government can provide. We believe every family, every person, every human being have a good health care. That's what we believe. But we believe too a democratic process. If you don't want, if you want to keep yours, you keep yours. If you want to have an option to have a government health care, go enjoy the government health care. That's what we give. We putting in the scorecard all the presidential candidates, how they stand about the health care. And after we put that scorecard, I've been under attack, my person, as a secretary treasurer, for telling the truth, the members, and the communication director, Bethany Khan, two women of colors, by the followers of Senator Sanders. We completely disagree with that because we believe people have the right to tell the truth to the members. I don't work for any political candidate because he said, oh no, I have people in my staff who's being under attack. But the only thing I tell the members is the truth. Yeah. That's the only thing. And you know, and I believe if people had to have an auction.
Senator Sanders was actually asked about this during a Wednesday night's debate. Here's what he had to say.
We have over 10.6 million people on Twitter, and 99.9% of them are decent human beings, are working people, are people who believe in justice, compassion, and love. And if there are a few people who make ugly remarks, who attack trade union leaders, I disown those people. They are not part of our movement.
He says he disowns those people who are making those attacks. Are you satisfied with Senator Sanders' response?
No, I'm not satisfied because this is a pattern. Their campaign, have followers where they're trying to intimidate people and bully people, and that's not right. You know, you had to make an investigation, what's going on, because we have another presidential candidate. We don't receive that type of attacks. And we know that's completely wrong, because if you have the president of the union is a male, is a white male, and they attack only the two women of color, they can tell you how is the really they believe. They can think and they can intimidate women of color. And what I'm telling is investigate, stop it, because it cannot be from state to state to state to state to have this group of people who trying to intimidate us. It's not going to intimidate me. It made me really uncomfortable in my family because they worry where I am now.
Yeah.
But that nobody gonna stop me to telling the truth to the people. My commitment, when I become to be elected secretary treasurer, was committed to the members. That's the first group of people I had to be committed, and I might have a responsibility. I don't say one word the presidential candidate don't saying. We putting in a scorecard what they saying, how they stand with the immigration, with the economics, and with the healthcare.
I know that you take your responsibility very seriously. I can see that. But if Bernie Sanders manages to secure the Democratic nomination, how will your union proceed?
You know, we believe in protect families, and we believe this country had to go in the right direction. And our first commitment it is to defeat President Trump. That's what we're working hard. It doesn't matter who is the Democratic candidate at the end. What we want is this country go in the right direction. We want to have middle-class job. We want to have an immigration reform for 11 million people. We want to have a president who not see immigrants only for the color of their skin. Oh, I accept this type of immigrant, but I reject this type of immigrant. We don't want that kind of type of president. And we're going to work really hard to knock in doors, to make phone calls, to send them, text, to communicate with people and everywhere till they go to vote and exercise the right they have to vote.
Geoconda Argüello-Kline, I want to thank you very much for joining us with the Culinary Workers Union. Thanks again.
Thank you.